Polipede Works here, coming at you once again with chapter 1075, the Labo Stratum Death Game. So, like always, we're just going to hit some points that I found interesting, and maybe you can discuss them amongst yourself in the comments. But as always, again, we're going to cover our cover page. And here's the interesting thing. It's called Germa 66 Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 31. Granted an audience with the 5 elders due to his scientific genius. And here we see a very young Vegapunk looking pretty clean, looking pretty flossy. However, in the back of him, we see the 5 elders. All of them are silhouetted in black with their facial hair in white, except for the Gandhi looking elder. The only thing white on him are his sandals, which is a very interesting choice. I want you to take note of their silhouette because I think this is kind of interesting. As we get into our chapter, we see the silhouette of the assailant who has been blowing up all the transponder snails, right? And we see what looks to be Saturn, the 5th elder named Saturn, J. Garcia Saturn, I believe his name is. It looks like him because he's got like this cube-like top of his head, which looks like Saturn's hat, and then these blobs flowing out from the sides, which looks like Saturn's hair. That's very interesting because, like I said, in our cover page, Saturn's facial hair and his hat, which I didn't notice at first, but yeah, his hat and his facial hair are white, where the rest of him is black. So that's kind of interesting that we get a cover page with the 5 elders in silhouette with key parts of their designs in white. And here we get a very similar silhouette. Very interesting. So am I saying that one of the 5 elders is responsible for the attack? Maybe, because in chapter 1069, we find out that in the pacifista command hierarchy, the 5 elders are at the top and they are above the satellites and Dr. Vegapunk. So what's surmised in the chapter is that a Vegapunk is the one committing the attacks and making all the Seraphim go crazy. But I don't know, seeing as how we know Saturn is near the island, he could be the one who infiltrated the island and he could be the one causing the attacks. Though it's kind of weird because just based on how they've been presented, it seems as though the 5 elders are simply just figureheads and not combatants. But I really don't know. We'll have to see. Some other funny points is that Nami finds Vegapunk's man-made jeweled treasure trove, and she's taken back by the diamonds even though they're man-made. We find out that Atlas's face is a mask, which is terrifying, and I don't like it. She's like just a robot for real, for real. I did not know that because as she's talking with Chomper, as Chomper, and Robin are in a group together, she mentions that she can replace any body part she needs as they become damaged, so she can just swap them out. I really do like her design though. It does give me heavy Uta vibes, you know, Uta from Film Red, but I do like her design a lot. And then we also find out that Vegapunk is also constructing organs for organ transplants. And we get another very funny, morbid Robin scene where she thinks that the organs are actually belonging to Vegapunk and he just cut out his own organs. That's pretty good. I like that. Classic Robin humor. Also, we see Sanji's interactions with Stussy, which are very much like Sanji's interactions with Robin, seeing as how Stussy is a older woman. So he's taken aback by her. And now the kind of weird part and the sad part of the chapter for me. Okay, so apparently the gun that Lilith carries around all the time is a bubble gun. This bubble gun, from its description, seems like it has the same effect as the Pacifista Mark III's like bubble hand wave thing because it can absorb attacks and bounce them right back. So this could be, again, a sort of play on the bubbles you see in Shabani Archipelago, or it could be a modified version of the bubbles that the guys on Fisherman Island used. I think they were called bubble coral. Yeah, those things. So it could be a play on either one of those, and maybe a little bit of a pyrobolin mixed in to make them hard. But yeah, we'll have to see if we get any further explanation on that. We get a backside of all the guys in our York, Lilith, Usopp, and Frankie group, and York is a wide girl. I gotta say, goodness gracious. Yeah, they find Pythagoras. Pythagoras detached his head, so he wasn't harmed anyway. He's delaying as to who actually attacked them, which actually gives S-Snake the opportunity to sneak up on them. Vegapunk York is enamored by S-Snake, which leads to her demise as she is petrified. And once again, that's a wide backside on York. I guess that's what you get for sitting around all day and eating. But yes, York is my favorite. She's very attractive, goodness gracious. And we kind of see how big she is, because we know Seraphim are quite large, and she's big enough to actually pet S-Snake. Also, here's a very interesting thing about S-Snake that I think here more times than ever before, we get actual context of how the Devil Fruit stipulations change based on who eats them. And this is very unique because we don't get this that often. So because S-Snake is a little girl, her powers don't work like Hancock, who is a grown woman. They work on people who find her just appealing because she's a cute little girl. So they find her adorable. Then the target is able to be petrified, which is different from Hancock being a grown woman, because with her, it's about who finds her sexually appealing. And then when they find her sexually appealing, that's what actually makes them susceptible to being hit by the effects of the love beam and being petrified. So with that being said, it changes here as York finds S-Snake very cute. She is an available petrification target when the love beam hits her, and she is gone. She's not dead, however, she's just petrified. And then S-Snake blows up the catwalk that the group are on, and they all fall down. Pythagoras, Lilith, Frankie, and Usopp. We do not see what happens to York. I hope she is okay. I also do think that this is going to be a very interesting turn of events when Luffy and S-Snake do actually meet, because I'm still banking on her being like Hancock and being smitten with Luffy in some sort of way, which might actually give the group a tactical advantage in this situation. So then Zoro actually saves an unconscious Lucci and Kaku when S-Bear and S-Hawk come to attack them, right? Because it makes him feel, I guess, dishonorable for letting them just die via pacifista laser barrage, which that's cool. That's kind of in character though, because he's a very honorable guy. Luffy, Shaka, and the rest of the guys dodge out of the way. And then the funny part comes. Lucci and Kaku arrange a truce with Zoro and Luffy in order to fight the Seraphim. And we get the best panel of Egghead yet. Luffy and Zoro do a disgusted face as they are repulsed by the idea of teaming up with Lucci and Kaku. Very good. Very good. Very good indeed. I love it. I love it. That's incredible. So I'm wondering now, is Saturn the one actually causing the disturbance? And also, is S-Hawk going to have a Devil Fruit ability? I think I made a short about this a little while ago. I think if he were to have a Devil Fruit ability, it would make sense for it to be the Diamond Fruit that Jozu has, going back to that whole talk with Mr. One and Zoro back in Alabasta, where Mr. One says, oh, what are you going to do, cut Diamond next? And then it was shown that Mihawk couldn't cut Jozu during Marineford, so it would be kind of really poetic for S-Hawk to have the Diamond Fruit, because that's something that Zoro is presumed to be able to cut in the future, and that's something that Mihawk couldn't cut during Marineford. And if you're wondering how he would actually obtain that power, another guy who has been a very prominent figure in this arc especially, and I guess in this sort of latter half of the time skip, has been Weevil. And Weevil's been going around beating up all the former Whitebeard pirate members. So he could have taken advantage of Jozu, since Jozu is missing an arm. I could see it. I could see him beating up Jozu, and maybe Jozu is now an impel down. That could have been a thing. Because I would assume, since Weevil was going around beating all these people down, that the Marines were just actually just tailing behind him, sweeping up the mess as he's beating down all these Whitebeard commanders. Because you have to think, all these Whitebeard commanders are still pretty esteemed pirates with big fat bounties. So if he isn't creating a cleanup for the Marines to come and just grab up, people who just want their bounties turned in would be the ones to do it. It has to be some sort of repercussion from those actions of him doing that. Of course, Marco is going to get taken out because Marco's kind of like our lead guy from the Whitebeard Pirates now. Yeah, we have to wait and see. No break next week, which is fantastic. And I believe that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Also, almost forgot to mention, your boy is going to be in the second Cross Guild Connection stream as a featured guest, along with Eli DZ, Adam Jinrakai, Deng Sake, Blumph, also Den Cushy, and many others. So check it out. It's going to be on a Tuesday, which is March 7th at 3 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. PST, and 8 p.m. GMT. You can catch it on YouTube or on Twitch, and I'm going to put up the lovely poster made by Adam on the screen now. It should already be up there. So yeah, come check us out, and it's going to be a fun time. March 7th. If you like stuff like this, please feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Polipede Works. And if you like what you see, I would appreciate your subscription. Thank you so much. See you next time.